Hey y'all, Trenchmore back here again. I want to talk to y'all about something pretty brief, but it was really a thought that came to my head recently. And specifically, I was kind of ruminating over it today. And one thing I want to talk about is that throughout life, let's just be real. You're going to have some type of struggle. There's going to be some type of challenge, some type of issue, some type of period of just potentially unfortunate events, right? There may be a phase of misfortune. There's a variety of things that we can encounter in life, right? And ironically enough, all of this wind, sometimes you might have a storm in your life, right? And that's just a difficult time. And what I thought about today, and this is something I've had plenty of experience with, and I've kind of experimented with both. And what I thought about is that, when you're trying to get right, or when you're trying to make your way from a challenge and you're trying to set yourself back in a good way, in a positive manner, trying to set yourself forward, really, right? Whenever you're trying to get back to either that pace that you started at, or you're trying to get to that state that you started at, right? Or you're trying to even achieve a better state, there's a way to approach it. And there's really I would mainly say about two ways. You're either going to approach your mental state first, or you're going to approach your physical state first. And I've done both. I've had different bouts of kind of depressional, that's not even a word, different bouts or different times of like a depression where I was out of it. Wasn't in the best mood at all, just wasn't feeling well. Wasn't really as productive as I probably could have been potentially. And I just could have been in a better state. And recently now, the irony is that, there have been definitely some things going on in my life that I'm not completely happy about, not completely pleased with, and that I wish ultimately didn't occur. But it's ironically enough been a great period of just learning for me, learning about others, learning about life, learning about myself, improving myself and doing better, really checking myself and disciplining myself probably more than ever, really. I've been working out every day. I'm trying to get back into the groove of just enjoyment as well, just enjoying activities and trying to get back into researching and learning like I really used to. And what I've noticed is that I'm, ironically enough, in the best physical shape that I've ever been in a long time. And, the thing that I thought about is that I've had experience with getting my mental area first, correct. But I've also had experience with getting my physical correct first. And I kind of want to say that there are pros with both. I don't know if I would say there's really ultimately cons. The main thing I would say is when you get your physical right first is that getting your physical right may make getting your mental state a lot easier, because when you're physically in shape, when you're physically in a good area, a good vibe, a good feeling, it's a lot easier to approach the mental area, the mental state, because you're physically feeling fine, right? But then at the same time, on the contrary, on the other hand, you can also easily argue that if I get my mental state right first, I'm going to have a lot more capacity mentally and physically to get physically right. So really, I would say that overall, either one is fine. But me personally, I would say from my experience, I prefer to get my mental state right first. Because I feel like if I'm not mentally right, I can't really be physically right. Because I think about something such as depression in general. Some of the symptoms of depression you eventually have difficulty with daily tasks. You don't enjoy daily tasks, or you're not productive with daily tasks. One of those things can simply be taking a shower. Like taking a shower literally becomes like almost like just weird. It becomes mundane, but it becomes so mundane to the point that you don't even want to do it. So that's why I really do say you kind of have to get that mental state right first before you can really physically approach life again, or really just try to get to a better state or the same state that you started off at before everything started to go south. So that's why personally I say I prefer getting my mental right first. And I've always said as well recently, like, life is so much more mental than physical. And we kind of forget that. We realize that, yes, we're physical beings, we're physical creatures. Yes, true, of course, obviously. But we're also higher than that. We're much more mental beings. And mentally, we have to understand that mentally we need to be right. And if we're not mentally right, physically being right is just going to be pretty difficult. So that's why I really say, when you all try to improve yourselves, think about that. Reflect about whether you want to get your mental state right or your physical state right. So that's why I really do say, hey, just think about it. Really, just think about it. So overall, y'all, Trenchmore back here again. Of course, get your mental state and your physical state right first, but make a decision on which one you want to get right first. The choice is yours. I'll see y'all later. Peace.